Everybody in the galaxy, welcome back to planet Earth. It's Tape Tuesday. Woo! How are y'all doing out there today? I got a nice show for you. We're going to make a tape loop. And we're going to record some tape loops. But first, I got a song for you. This one is called Non-Nominal Phenomena by Archaic. This one is Non-Nominal Phenomena by Archaic. It's on my latest album, Vega Starshine. Yeah, that's on all streaming platforms. We got Tape Tuesday, and I got a lot of tapes this Tuesday. We got Hen back in the chat. We got Kiara in the chat, of course. And we got Master Tiger in the chat. That's my joke. Master Ty. yeah. If you joined us yesterday, it was episode 10 of Mono Synth Monday. That's all about the TB-303, my favorite machine. It makes my favorite sound as well. The song you just heard was Non-Nominal Phenomena by Electric Archaic. Sometimes the phenomena is not exactly nominal, and I had to had to handle some technicals today, but we're back up and rolling. Picture me Roland, except for today it's more like picture me Tascam. Can you do the can? Can you do the Tascam? Yes, we can. What you're hearing in the background is a little bit of my Ease show. It's kind of a tape loop heavy ambient soundscape show that I put together. And I got some tape loops right here. Let's see if we can blend them in. This is my favorite tape loop. If you've joined us on previous episodes of Tape Tuesday, you will have heard it. It actually might be the first tape loop I ever made. When I think about it, that's what I'm thinking about. How we all doing in the chat? Yeah, we got Kiara saying, Happy Tape Tuesday, bro. Thank you, sis. Okay. I'm gonna make a tape loop today, as we usually do. I kind of like to start off the show with some vibes. Yeah, Tuesday's a lot more calm compared to Monday. The Mono Synth Monday vibe, that's all about acid house. We're really getting crazy with it. So I brought out I don't know. I got this Korg Volca FM. Maybe we can make some cool tape loops with this a little bit later. I got a whole box of tape loops here. But that's not going to stop me from showing you how to make a tape loop. I got my crafting scissors. I got this brand new tape. I've been tempting to open this up. Make a nice tape loop out of it. I think we will do that. Okay. We got the infamous one and back in the chat. We get the chat family. I sure appreciate all of you. All right. So let's get some things going here. How's that sound? Okay. Trying to get myself a little bit organized. I got a lot of machines here on this table. Let's get this. Let's get our tape loop tape dispenser out. If you joined us on previous episodes, you'll know about it. It's held together by some Lego and good intention. Okay, here we go. This is my handy dandy Type 2 tape dispenser. I dare not show it to you too much because it could fall apart. I have to reinforce it. Yeah, cassette tapes don't exactly share the width of Lego, but if I can just give you a little better view, that's kind of what we're doing. And I got this cool triangular ruler here, and it has these grooves that hold the tape. It's kind of perfect. So yeah, and then I got this piece of tape leader that measures out our perfect tape loop length, and we're gonna make a tape loop. I'm gonna show you from start to finish what you gotta do. those of you who maybe don't know Kiara, she's my sister. We've been making music since we were tiny kids. We grew up in my dad's recording studio. She's got a new release out on Iboga Records, Iboga Tech. It's Kiara, Swimming In. You gotta check it out if you like. Just kind of like trance, techno, psytrance vibe. And she's got some beautiful vocals in that song. Shout outs to Kiara. We hope you're having a good release. See, that's the thing. When you make a really nice tape loop like this one playing here, they can just go on and on and on. Yeah. Now this machine is cool because it's a studio cassette machine. So it plays all 4 tracks at once. Your standard Walkman will only play two tracks at once. Get this plugged in here in anticipation for the Volca key, or no, I have a Volca keys. We may make some loops with that as well, but I think we're gonna try out the Volca FM today. Hopefully we don't get too many harsh DX7 sounds coming out of that. It's a thing, it happens. Okay, so yeah, I'm just trying to butter myself up here, like Bill Alexander, my favorite painter, likes to say. You got to get into the mood, and then you can fire in with the creative power. I hope y'all are having a good day today. It's been a little bit rainy here, a little bit stormy. But catch some sunshine as soon as you can. We got The Seas of Terra Vega. That's a song by me. That's playing in the background. That's the cassette tape version. Oh yeah. I do have some cassette tapes. I gotta get some cassette tapes on my Bandcamp. I think I'm gonna try to do that this week here. Because I got some made of. Yeah, it's Tape Tuesday. It's all about tapes. And vibes and chilling out after Mono Synth Monday. Oh man, that was a lot of excitement. Look what I got. And they come with some cool stickers too. This is Electric Archaic's Night Runner Soundscape. It's got Tiger Sky and Electrified Rain. I'm gonna be having that up on my Bandcamp sometime this week. I swear it's a lot of work. It's a lot of times. I also have a little bit of a preview cassette here. It has some songs from the forthcoming album Cotton Candy. That's it's Kiara and Electric Archaic's Cotton Candy. Get your cassettes, get your cassettes. All right. Okay. You know me, I like to use these old VHS camcorders, and they have these cool overhead lights. That'll give us a slightly better view of what it is we're about to do. Song coming on now in the background is Infinite Timescape. It's currently unreleased. I'll be releasing that soon. Like I said a minute ago, that's a lot of work to do around here in the electric archaic studio. Okay, so to make a tape loop, we got to make a tape loop. I'm going to get my cassette collection out of the way. That's a collection of a lot of cool tape loops and things that I got. So when you're making a tape loop, you want to cut it as perpendicular as possible. We'll just give a nice, fresh, clean edge to this cassette tape here. Yeah. You want to set yourself up for success. I think today's tape loop will be a success. We're going to use a brand new cassette. Yeah, I know it's a non-renewable resource. I just want to see it because it's got that cool yellow, that kind of yellow 80s wheel in there. Or I guess it's a reel, not a wheel. Well, before we cut our tape loop to size, we need to have somewhere to put it. Let's open up a fresh cassette. You can still grab these on all sorts of websites, eBay, Cryptic Carousel. They got a lot of cool cassette-related analog, VHS material. Look at this. I'm opening up a non-renewable resource here. They don't make these anymore. At least they don't make them like they used to. And that's kind of the sad truth of a lot of things these days. But with renewed interest comes renewed satisfaction. Look at that. That's a beautiful cassette tape. You do lose some of the 80s flair when you take off the packaging. Yeah, make sure to recycle your plastic. Jeez. Talk about non-renewable resources. Plastic, it lasts forever. That's a nice, it's got some nice hefty weight to it. It's a 90-minute tape. Fairly standard size there. They started to try to make them thinner and longer, and they're not the best because, especially when you're running it in a machine like this Tascam, because the Tascam runs extra fast, and sometimes the tape would snap because it was too thin. I know that TDK, they tried to push the limits on that. Can't remember what that specific tape is called, but it was probably an SA 120 or 100 minute long tape. Okay, so with any tape loop, you gotta find a tape that has the little screws in the corner. You see that? Yeah, there's usually about 5 screws in each cassette tape. You gotta get yourself a teeny tiny little screwdriver. open that up. You don't want to lose any of these pieces that come from the inside of a cassette tape. It's a slightly delicate process here, but it's a lot of fun. It can be kind of hypnotic at times. Sorry about the glare there. Maybe I'll switch up the light here, turn off the VHS overhead lamp, go back to some freaky analog video vibes. That looks pretty cool to me. We got the infamous one in the chat asking, what's the brand? The brand on what, my friend? The cassette tape? That's a Memorex. The brand on the cassette tape I was talking about that has the really long, thin tape that you don't really want, that's TDK. The brand on... I'm giving away all my trade secrets. If you watch enough of my shows, you'll know. This is a Tascam 414 or a 414. If you just mentioned the analog visuals, what's the brand? Well, I use Panasonic VHS-C camcorders, the tiny ones. Well, the tiny tapes anyway. I don't use them with tape. Sometimes I do, but I have a lot of new ones that I haven't tested with tape. You want to get your test tapes. That's the same with cassettes. Anyways, continuing on with releasing all my trade secrets online. No, the real magic is the Videonics video mixer or some kind of analog video mixer. I like to use the MX1. I have two of those running right now. As you can see here, I got just a simple internal feedback loop running on this camera view. You want to get liked and subscribed. On Friday, I'm going to be doing my show, Feedback Friday. We did the first episode last week. That was a lot of fun. Talking about analog video feedback loops, internal feedback, a lot of cool effects that you can get with this old analog equipment. You got to check out your thrift shops, thrift stores before there's no more. You can find some cool gear around, because unlike the TB-303 and some of this vintage synthesizer gear I like to use, the analog video scene was all pervasive in the 80s and 90s. So you can pick up that vintage gear, and I highly recommend doing it because, and the same with cassette tape gear, even if you just pick up the tape head out of it, you can eventually make some kind of tape echo. I have a whole bunch of really cheap Walkman stereo, little portable cassette players. And I got them mainly for the tape heads because I want to make up a really crazy tape delay using numerous heads. But sometimes it's fun to modify Walkman as well. And it's pretty easy if you have just like a soldering iron, a screwdriver, and some basic soldering skills. Gotta have those soldering skills. Let's get back into our brand new cassette that we're gonna open up and turn into a tape loop here. Okay. I'll just continue to take these little teeny tiny screws out of this cassette tape here. Yeah, get subscribed. We're going to do another Feedback Friday in just a few days' time. I want to see if we can push some of the limits of analog video effects. It's one of my favorite things. Okay, of course, everything I do here on my channel, it's all about my favorite things. I guess it's analog stuff. Well, at the real core, when you boil it down, it's about being creative and harnessing that creative power. All right, so you do want to be very careful when you open these up, okay? There's these little pins that go into these small wheels here, and I imagine that'd be pretty hard to find, especially if you have carpet or yeah, don't lose that. Okay, and then there's this what I call the slip mat. I think we will put the slip mat back in there this time. It's got some cool graphics to it. Yeah, I know that there's not a whole lot of light in my studio today. Maybe I'll brighten it up for you. Let's see what we can do. That's a little bit better. Yeah, I'm trying to run a workshop here, people. No. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna save the slip mats just over here, out of frame. And you need to be careful. Well, how many times do I gotta say that? Usually I'm saying tape 10,000 times on Tape Tuesday. Today I'm just gonna say, careful, careful, careful. You gotta have all the tapes. Here it comes. Every kind of tape. I do have a few different types. I'm just gonna get a small little piece of this Scotch tape here. Okay, so this is good tape. You don't want to waste it. I don't like to waste things. And when you're pulling it out, once again, be careful. And you'll get this little tightrope walker here. But you want to keep it as tight as you can. And you can kind of wrap you can do this trick here. Wrap the excess tape leader up against that full reel. We're keeping it real here today on Tape Tuesday. Okay, and you want to separate the one reel from the other. And ever so careful. This will unspool into, I don't know exactly how long it is, but I imagine could be about a mile long, could be longer. And you want to store that in a box filled with all your other cassette tape reels. Now it's too bad, I would like to, since this is such a beautiful color of yellow on this specific tape here, I would like to make a tape loop that goes over both of them, but I'm not exactly sure what to do with all of this tape. Now, I could show you in a future episode what I would do with that, but I can just tell you here right now. What I would do is I would get a reel from another tape that was, let's say, white or black or not a beautiful color yellow like this. And I would connect the tape leader to it. These things have a tiny little... I mean, it's not exactly like Lego. It's very small. But you can pull this piece out here, see? I would show you that. It's a little tiny cap to it. And you kind of want to... Sometimes you can put these things back in and it doesn't affect them. But a lot of times it will slide out. Now, since it's going to be secure in here, I don't know. It's usually a good idea to leave the tape leader in there. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to grab the tape, that little tiny piece of tape leader, put it back on in to this reel here. And these things usually, if I don't lose it. these things will snap right back in. And that little tiny piece of tape leader keeps it nice and snug. It would be easier to just pull that out and replace it, but then you will potentially lose it. And then you want to cut this as close to the surface as you can. Sometimes you can just kind of razor it off like that. Again, be careful. That's going to be my theme for today's show. Be careful, but also be yourself. Okay, that's perfect. It's perfecto. So we got our nice little tape reel here. Like I said, I was going to keep these little slip mats in there. It's oftentimes that's what the graphics are printed on, and in this case, I do like these graphics. All right, we're getting there. We're getting closer. Now I gotta zoom you back out. We gotta cut some tape for this tape loop. We need a counter. Oh boy. You've said tape 10,000 times this Tuesday. We got the infamous one in the chat talking about the analog video effects. They're saying the color's so great. They're trying to teach their son too. Yeah, that's really cool. I wonder how these younger generations take to this old analog. I grew up with this stuff. A lot of us grew up with these things, so we're kind of keeping it alive. But for some of these younger generations, they don't know so much about how things were analog. I'm sure that's a pretty interesting perspective when you think about it. Okay, so everything's perfect on this. I got all my pieces in order here. I'm just gonna cut this to size. And I'm not rushing this. Not rushing this process here. I want to make a good tape loop here because we're putting it in a really nice shell. So I got my measurement just right. It's just a bit above. This doesn't start at 0, so this is 0 here, and that's about, I don't know, about a centimeter of empty space here. But so if you get around, I think it's 8 5/8 inches. Don't quote me on that. You want the tape loop to be a little bit, you want it to be more loose than it is tight. If it's too tight, it will snap as soon as you press the play button. Okay, so I got myself a nice little piece of tape here. Turn the overhead light back on. Please keep your seatbelts on. We're going for a smooth ride. All right, so I have this. I should be sponsored by these people. I keep shouting them out every Tuesday. I'm not sponsored by them, but this is the Splice It tape for cassettes, and it's just the right width for cassette. Makes your life a lot easier. You can do it with Scotch tape. We did that on the very first episode. A little bit janky. You got to make sure it's the right width. So just like the tape, just like the tape loop itself, you want to have a nice, clean, perpendicular edge. And watch out for where that thing flies. You don't want that bumping around in your cassette machines. I got all these little tape scraps here. Got to keep a clean workstation. Okay. So we found out in a previous week that it's smart to cut this a little bit early. You don't want to get your loop in place and not have your splicing tape ready. So we'll have it ready right there. Okay. So when you get your tape, you got to take note of which way it's curling. So as you can imagine, it's been stored on a reel for so many years, about 30 some odd years. And you got to reverse the curl, and you want to tape on the inside of that, so that when you flip it back around and it comes back together, you haven't taped over the readable side, the side you're going to record the sound onto. You want to get it as parallel as possible with minimal overlap, and you want it to line up, well, as parallel as possible. Okay. Sometimes having some tweezers helps. I don't have those today, so we're gonna just do it like that. Now that's a happy tape loop. Right there. Now if our measurements are correct, it may be happy, but it's not perfect. Sometimes perfection is the enemy of progress. Trying to trim off just a tiny corner of that tape. I got it perfect. Okay, so sometimes perfection is the way. There you go. Where's Dion today? He always jokes and says I'm like a hand model. Yeah, just last week I got my third camera going, so you can see me in all my analog glory. So just very carefully, you're gonna get the tape back in there, and I'll turn this overhead, turn the overhead lamp back off. I try to make it sort of a meditative process here. Yeah, if you're like me, do a lot of cool music with cassette tapes and tape loops. You gotta be enjoying the process of making these things. It can get a little bit tedious, especially in this part, when you gotta kind of feed it through all these square teeth. Yeah. It does help to have those tweezers. Let me try to find those. That looks really cool, actually. Welcome to Tape Tuesday. where we look at tapes. No, we're making a tape loop today. That's what we're doing. Okay, so the tweezers can help you dial in the tape loop. I got a lot of cool ideas for some upcoming shows. We just finished up episode 10 of Mono Synth Monday yesterday. That's 10 weeks every week of 303 craziness. This tape loop is not, it's not obeying me. I'm not sure if it's static or just normal stickiness. It's sticky tape. I'm worried this one is a bit tight as well. We can always measure it again, but it's like a game of Operation. You guys remember that game in the 80s? Yeah, this is just, this is giving me a lot of trouble here. I don't have the best view of it, the way I was holding it there. It's like in on one side and out on the other. Oh my, okay, now I'm literally manifesting that. Let's get going, tape. This one better be good because it's sure taken a long time. I wish I had a trick for this. It's very it's very touch and go, tedious. But that's what I like to show you. Okay, I finally got it in there. Now I gotta get this over the wheel and hopefully it's still... Oh no, here it comes. It's... Wow, this tape is being kind of a pain today, but you're gonna look so good. At this point, I'm just gonna take this wheel right out of there. Come on. Okay. That must be the live stream police there. They're coming after me. You're taking too long to make the cut. To make the tape. Wow, I'm really screwing this up. See? Oh boy. I thought that was going to help me. Okay, ever so carefully. Ever so carefully. Yeah, that didn't help me at all. Okay. Say a little prayer to the angels of cassette tapes. Let's get this going. Help me out. I need some help. Wow, this is strong. Now I show you how not to do it. Well, this is how you do it, but it's taken forever. Also, kind of worried it's going to be a bit small. I feel like I'm going around in circles, but when I get this tape done, it will be going around in circles. Okay. Come on, let's do it this time. Man, it's not cooperating. The struggle is real with this tape. Wow. I need to... Okay, this is an inspiration. Whenever you have problems, you got to use it to get inspired. I'm wondering what kind of solution I can come up with to ease this frustration here. There we go. It's going to take me 2 hours to make a tape loop, and then we'll all go home. Yeah, I wish I could blame it on Mercury, but yeah, Mercury's still going strong and direct. Maybe there's another teeny tiny planet going backwards right now. That's the cool thing about these Tascams is that you can play normal cassette tapes in reverse and look for secret messages from the past. Okay, I'm really hoping I can finally finish this tape loop. Thanks everyone for sticking around through this. This is being just a little bit extra today. Oh boy, I almost have it. I almost have it. Let's have it. Okay, I'm gonna will it into position. Oh my god, it's really not working. I wonder if it's because I got this slip mat in here. That's the only thing that would be different, and it's too bad that we're gonna have to lose it because I'm about to lose it. You wanna get nuts? You ever seen me lose it on a live stream? Well, I promise I've done this on live television before. I swear. This tape loop today. I take a little bit of a break there. Yeah. Maybe I'll play you a song. Woo! Let's check out the chat. We got Misty Forest. Welcome back. They're saying, once I repaired a snapped tape from Cassette that was so painful to reinstall in the shell. I understand what you're feeling, yeah. Oh boy. I've never had that much trouble with a tape loop. I don't think ever in my life. I know that they can be a little bit tricky, but that one right there, oh, yikes. It's probably got a grudge against me because it's been waiting 40-some years to be opened up and to make a nice little mixtape for two young lovers, and I just ripped the tape out of it and we're gonna turn it into a Frankenstein monster. Like, don't worry, I still have the tape, and there can be a lovers mixtape on that. Oh, we're having a lot of fun here. At least I am. Woo-hoo! Yeah, I apologize for not keeping up too much up with the chat, especially when I got this tape craziness going on. I'm gonna give it another crack. Yeah, we got Ease playing in the background. That's my Ease show. It's a lot of cool drones, a lot of tape loops. What you're currently hearing is kind of some soundscapes I like to record. That was in the rain, and I put down some bottle caps and some jar lids, and was making little drums out of the drip drops of rain. This tape, it's not working, guys. I don't want to give up, but I do have a box of fresh tape loops. I feel like maybe there's some static interfering with this, so every time I move it, to get it further into place, it just sticks to something. Okay, oh, please work. Come on, because once it lands in... Now this isn't... Oh, I got it. Oh, you're gonna be... But I didn't get the slip mat. Maybe I can slide the slip mat underneath that. Do I dare risk it for this little tiny biscuit? Oh man, okay. Yeah, I do want to risk it. Let's see. Let's see here. Oh man, that was a lot of pressure. Okay, can I just so carefully get the... I want that nice 80s graphic in there. It looks like I got it. Okay, I'm gonna just put the reel it in, and I'm really hoping this tape loop isn't too tight, but I don't want to... Well, I can't resist. It's gonna be okay. You gotta have some give there, or else if it's too tight, as soon as the playhead goes up into the tape to read it or record it, it can snap that tape loop. And since this is DIY, you are the agent of QA, and that's quality assurance. I'll be here all year. Woo! We did it. So, okay, now I got the little slip. I'm calling them slip mats. I don't know what they're really called. And I don't care. I wonder, this will be a cool experiment because I've never kept these in a tape loop before. I'm actually kind of worried that's going to screw some things up. But it makes it look so freaking cool. Let's try it. Let's try it. It's just a tape loop. It's not rocket science. Although I'm sure a rocket scientist could make some really great loops. Loops around the planet, that is. I'm so happy I got my tape loop. I got my tape loop working. Well, we don't know if it's working yet. So there's this trick I like to do. When you don't know if it's going to work or not, don't waste all your time putting every single teeny tiny little screw back in there. You can just do this very middle one. And that is, once again, me giving away all my trade secrets. No, I'm trying to help you guys out. I know there's a lot of people making tape loops out there, and there's probably going to be a lot more people making tape loops out there because this is so freaking cool. Everybody downtown must make a tape loop. Sweet. Okay, great. Let's see. There is some weirdness with that slip mat. I don't know. Maybe I'll just keep the bottom one in there. I suppose we can try it out. Okay, so over to the Tascam, my friends. Welcome to the newest tape loop addition to my tape loop family. I got a lot of family. Of tapes, I mean. Okay. So first things first, we gotta just press play and hear for the splice. You can usually hear the splice and see it on the levels there. I can clear up this picture a little bit if you prefer. Keep some of that freakiness though. So yeah, you ought to be able to hear that splice. It's going ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Just having a look at the tape loop now, it looks like it is pretty happy. And that slip mat does not seem to be causing any issues. So, right on, baby. Right on. Now we got to think about what we're going to record onto it. We got Hen in the chat talking about making old tapes with the graphics, and they're saying they remember making some single tracks tapes as demos before we got writable CDs. That's really cool. I missed that whole. I missed the demo era. Not exactly though. My dad was making demos constantly, so we were always listening to his. So I was riding shotgun. I was his shotgun producer there as a tiny little electric Archaic. It's a lot of fun making your own music and making demo tapes. So yeah, I don't have. Yeah, I had some serious technicals before starting the show, so I was not able to get everything as prepared as I'd like it to be. So if you can just freaky teddy bear with me. Maybe I need to get my priority straight. I got that ready though. Where is it? Freaky Teddy making an appearance. Gotta love Freaky Teddy. Once again, I'm not sponsored by these cats, but I like to use these pale blue rechargeable batteries, and one of the main reasons why is because they do not explode. These batteries in these old machines, they explode, and you'll see in the terminals sometimes there's this bright blue alkaline corrosion, and it's really gnarly. One of these days maybe I'll make a trading card deck, and that'll be one of the monsters, is the bright blue battery acid, and it'll go fight against the TB-303 acid, and then the Joker will be he'll be placing bets. Oh boy. I'm just gonna narrate my whole life. Now I'm putting the batteries in the Korg Volca. I haven't turned on this Volca for quite some time. I'm not sure what patches are on here. I like to make my own patches, and then what do they call that? Sys-X them in. Right on in. Okay, this is how we do it. We're gonna make some tape loops. This is the exciting time. We've done our homework. Now it's time to do some craft work. Some sound craft. Okay, I'm plugged in here on track 1, and since this is a blank tape loop that we just made it, we can just fire right on in. Okay. Turn this puppy on. And on the Tascam, I got to switch over into record mode. Flip it over to track 1. I hope this is going to be okay. It's doing actually, I'm just taking a mono right out of this Volca. I think Volcas will do mono, but if it sounds real bad, we can try to fish out another cable, but I think this will work. And it's not like we're making it more quality than it already is. We're going lo-fi. Okay, switch this into mic line. This machine has a lot of things you got to remember about it. Okay. All right. So you want to, well, let's test out the patch here and see what kind of sound we're going to send to the magnetics of this analog tape loop. I'm just going to keep playing Ease in the background. Once again, that's my Ease show. Electric Archaic, Soundscape Expeditions. That's what we're doing today. We're making some more sounds for episode 2 of Ease. I'm just going to record that straight to tape right there. I got it running here, and all the other ones are in safe mode. Let's make sure we got a healthy level. You'll see that right here on the tape machine. Yeah, the analog video is crazy today. I'll try to clear that up a little bit for you. Maybe we'll do something a little bit different with this tape loop. I'll show you what it's like to have a tape loop that has different kinds of chords on it. So on one track we'll record something like this, and on the other one we'll record something like this. I think that should be pretty interesting here. So let's see how long the release is. It's just a solid drone. Pull down the level just a little bit. And I'll just record that to track 1. A little bit of sound on sound there. That just means that the tape... Oh, no, dang it. We missed a step. There's this erase head on the cassette machine, and you got to cover that up, and I'll show you why. Because it's erasing a portion of it, and since this is a loop and you want the whole loop to be recorded on, you got to cover that up. So if you're hearing here, well, let me just switch the mode over. Well, it didn't seem like... Not sure why we're not hearing that. Oh yeah, I got to switch it all the way up to tape. This machine, it's not on the fritz, but sometimes it makes me feel like my brain is on the fritz. So you can hear the crunchy lo-fi vibe with this tape loop, and that's what we're going for. But that little gap right there, that's because the erase head was not covered. So we got to redo it. We got to do it correctly. So I got to pull the tape right on out for a second. And I have this little piece of Scotch tape from an earlier episode, and it works just fine. Okay, so you put the little piece of Scotch tape on the... I swear, it's tape Tuesday, and now the machine's running. You don't want to put a cassette... Whoa. Once again, be careful. Okay, so that'll work now, and we can probably get that to be more seamless. Well, you can do sound on sound now, because this will never erase that tape. So you could essentially infinitely record sound on top of the previous sound as the tape loops around. Maybe I'll give you a half and half here. Show you what I'm doing on the Tascam and on the Volca. Okay, I'm just gonna give it a healthy level. Press play. Oh, I gotta make sure I got my fingers in the right place here. These touchscreen keyboards, kind of interesting. All right, so let's press play. When you're ready. Okay. And sometimes you can listen for those splices. Just kind of know where you're at. Let's hear back. Let's hear back on this. That. Ooh. So that sound on sound here gets a little rumbly. And that's what we're going for. We're going for that analog character. Just gonna prepare track 2 now for recording. Okay. That's a bit loud. Sorry about that. Got some sound on sound there, and some dolphins in the background. Shout out to all my dolphin friends out there. Let's hear how that sounds. Got to switch it back into, I think this is, well, I'm not going to try to explain these switches, but they got to be in the right position or else you're going to fail your mission. Ooh, that sounds really nice. So you wouldn't play these two tracks together. A lot of the tape loops I make, I do play all the tracks together and they're very complementary. But in this case, you're doing a bit of a performance with the tape loops. So that sounds pretty great. Now we got 2 more tracks. Let's find some. And now this one's very crunchy. And that's cool because it kind of goes down from the major to the minor. And the minor has a bit of mysterious flavor to it. That's the mystery. The mystery and the magic. And that's how you can make different chords on a tape machine. Okay, so maybe on this last track, let's do this first because I kind of just want to put in one note that it can drone on, if that makes sense. So let's switch that over here. Track 4. This thing, a little scratchy. Maybe I'll go down an octave. Let's see here. In the Volca, let's shift it down. I'm just gonna record that straight away. Wait. The level was a little bit hot there. So you can saturate the tape. It sounds really good when you saturate it, but you don't want to saturate it too much because then it'll just sound like like an old cassette tape that was thrown out the window on the highway in the 90s. hope that sounds pretty good. That'll be our low boy. Low drone. Switch it back to tape here in safe mode. I'll give you a little demo of what we got. Didn't come through very loud. Maybe we'll have to record that again. Problem is since we have the delete head covered, it won't delete it. We can try some sound on sound and just overpower it. Let's see how that sounds. If we do such a thing. Okay, that should sound very, very crunchy, I think. Sounds pretty good. It does have a little bit of a drop off at the end. Let's tune it up. This is the Seas of Terra Vega playing in the background. I haven't really shown you how to do this type of stuff on Tape Tuesday yet. Yeah, you can perform with these tape machines a lot of different ways. Just grabbing the pitch control there and using it as kind of like a pitch bender music slide. We got Hen in the chat asking, can I explain the step with the tape on the tape heads again? You cover it and just get a little closer to that. You cover it that it doesn't erase what's on it before when you record it again, right? Well, in this case, we made this tape loop out of a brand new blank tape. It's a high bias tape, so there was nothing on there to erase. But if you're pulling out old tapes from the thrift shop, which you can certainly do that, I have the high bias brand new blank tape, so it's just easier. It relieves the step. What you would do is if you used a pre-recorded tape and you cut that and made your tape loop out of that, you would want to erase all the tracks on it. Now, on a Tascam, you can erase all the tracks at once. And on a Walkman, you'd have to flip the tape, if that makes sense. Or on a shoebox recorder. I have some of these hanging out right here. These things. You can definitely make tape loops with these. You want them to have an input though, that's the thing. With a Walkman, you're not going to even be able to record. So it needs to have a record button and an input. You can also use the built-in microphone. That sounds really cool sometimes, especially if you're getting SOUNDSCAPE sounds. Just make sure that your level is hot enough or that you're close enough to the source. Let's all get a little bit closer to the source, if you know what I mean. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Hen. All right, so give me a like and subscribe if you're having fun. I know we got the chat family here. They're locked in. That's my team. I love you guys. Let's get back over to the Tascam. Wow, wow, wow. I'm gonna tune it up to the background music. That's really nice. So we'll put in some other kind of chord on this third track here. I'm gonna prep that for recording. See what the Volca sounds like. The music in the background, that's infinite timescape, and it's kind of interfering with our tape loop creation, but it's very nice. Maybe I'll skip it forward just a bit so we can get back to this tape loop. Okay. Hope you're all having a good time here today with me on Tape Tuesday. Now this will sound really good with reverb on it. I like to keep this clean to show you what I'm doing. Reverb can cloud the mind and numb the senses. You want to be careful with reverb when you're making music. It's really nice for ambient things, but okay. So let's see what the FM is doing and find a nice chord that can go with these. We're not exactly tuned up anymore, are we? That might sound kind of cool and freaky. Now that's a good note right there. That's what I'm going to do on that last open track. Maybe not. It does sound nice with those other ones, though. Let's do it. Let's fire in. Get a nice healthy level. See here. Hear how that sounds. Okay. Yeah, it's been it's been quite the day. I've had a lot of strange technicals, but we're still afloat. And we got some good vibes, and that's all that matters. Let's hear that track playing with the other ones now. Sounds really good. I think we can call that an all-around success. And of course, you can always grab that pitch control and turn it into a flying car. Get in the car, Marty. It's a DeLorean. We're going to 1987, and after that, we're going to 2987. Woo! Let's come back down to present time here. Let's get grounded. Yeah, that's how you make a tape loop, and that's how you record onto a tape loop using the Tascam 414. It's I'd like to say it's my favorite machine, but the TB-303 is my favorite machine. As far as tape goes, it is my favorite machine. Okay, I think I'm gonna play you a song now. Let's see what I got queued up for ya. This one's called World Lord, and it's got a DIY tape echo. We had a look at my my Sony 3-head tape machine last week, and we made a tape delay, tape echo out of that, and it sounded really, really nice. This is World Lord by Archaic. It's out on all streaming platforms. Check it out. Sorry about that one. I'm trying to dial in some soundscapes for after this track. It can't always be a perfect show, you know. But that's not gonna stop me from trying, oh boy. Oh, baby. Yeah. Hope you're all having a great time. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Woo! So like I said, I got a box of tape loops already made. What's the limit? I don't know. Maybe we should do a tape loop making marathon someday. Yeah. So, yeah, the Vocal FM sounds very nice indeed on the cassette tape loop. Being a digital synthesizer, when you convert it to an analog format, it sounds very nice indeed. Let's grab one of these. I know we messed around with this one a couple weeks ago. It's got that orange and purple tape on it. Let's give it a quick listen. Give me a like and subscribe if you're having a good time. And thank you for all your love. I'm out here doing live television, live tape looping on television. Okay. So the tape loop you're currently hearing is in the background, but let's fade this one in and see if we can play it. Yeah, I think we were having a conversation with some aliens the other day, and we recorded it. There's quite the splice on this one. It might be that we didn't get around to recording on these tracks here. Now that will sound really good with reverb. Reverb can save you every now and then. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, maybe we should take these empty tracks here. They're not exactly empty. I'm hearing some kind of Beastie Boys vibe in there, but there's a bad splice click. And that may just be something that we can't do much about. If you have a look at the splice, I don't know, can we even find the splice? You can't wheel these things up when they're a tape loop because they're not connected to the reel. I'm just trying to, let's see if I can find the splice and see how bad it looks, because this might be one of those tape loops that, yeah, it looks like there's a bit of overlap there, so it might just be hitting the tape head a bit too hard. We'll put this one on the side, because although it's not exactly on the fritz, it's kind of sounding like it's on the fritz there. Let's just let's put in a brand new blank tape loop. And I lied, that one has some sound on it too. Very weak sound. Okay, well, a lot of strangeness when you're working with analog formats and when you got a soundscape going on in the background. I'm gonna set this track 1 for recording. You kind of gotta, there's this safe mode, there's the left and right. And I think this is dialing in your input. These channels here, you get 4 channels, and this is for the 4 tracks on that the cassette tape can hold. And this specific player has 4 heads, recording and reading at the same time. So we got track 1. We're gonna set the input to input number 1. Change over our wire there, and then you gotta put the input again also to mic line. I don't know. It's weird. These machines are weird, and that's why we love them. So let's think about a slightly different patch here. We got the Korg Volca FM. It's a nice little digital synthesizer. I like to show some of these Volcas because I know a lot of you have Volcas out there, and they're very useful, and it's nice. You can get your digital synth sounding like a really cool analog synth when you just record it to cassette tape. I think I'll change the patch up here. That's gonna be really cool. Let's go for some SOUNDSCAPE vibes. Okay. I'm just gonna hit record. Now that's quite a bit of sound on sound. I let that loop over itself a few times. And since I have the erase head covered with some Scotch tape, it should record it right on top of itself and sound pretty crunchy and good. Let's give it a listen. Now there's quite the strong splice sound on this one too. I shouldn't be hearing that from any of these other tracks because I got their levels down. It's too bad. That might not be the best tape loop there. It is important to try to get the tape to match up just right. So imagine if these two tapes were cassette tape, you want them to be basically parallel and not too much overlap. And you don't want them to be crooked, because that doesn't feel so good. Well, now I don't hear the splice, so what's going on with that? Maybe it worked itself out. I love it when machines heal themselves. Kind of a rare thing that happens, but it has been known to happen around me. That's very strange. And I'm not sure if it's tape bleed either, because that can happen as well. Let's set up this track number 2. How that sounds. It's kind of fun to harmonize the tape loop creation with something else. The sounds in the background are kind of inspiring. Alright, so you flip it back to tape and safe mode, and let's hear how that sounded. Oh, that sounds really lovely. And the splice kind of went away too. Working out very nice. Come back over here to the Volca. Maybe we'll change that patch up again and go for a slightly different sound this time. We got 2 more tracks to record on this one tape loop here. I'll just set those up, get them ready so we can hear it. Oh yeah, let's make some Let's make some children's story music here. Okay. Get back to work. It's Tape Tuesday. Doing a massive sound on sound with that one. I recorded that track. Let's hear how it sounds. It is pretty important. You do want all your tracks to either be chords that you can play, or you want them to all drone together harmoniously. That's kind of the key. And so, speaking of key, and we got Kiara in the chat. Shoutouts to Kiara. Get in the chat, everyone. Somebody like and subscribe. Dude, make the hearts go. Let's I love those little hearts. I'm sending all of you love. Okay, so what I was talking about is keys, please. As the song changed in the background, we got to change the key of the tape to match. Sometimes they don't exactly match, but that sounds all right. Yeah, again, I'm fighting the soundscape. We got too much soundscape happening in back here. I sure love that song. That was Infinite Timescape by Electric Archaic. Let's get back into this tape loop. We got one more track to record on it, so I'll plug in the synthesizer into track number 4. We got the mic line mode and track 4. That's that really glassy, classic DX7 sound from the 80s there. I think I'll record that straight to the tape here. Kind of experimenting a little bit with the sound on sound. Okay, let's hear that. The channel's a little bit noisy. Not sure if you can hear all of that, but these machines, they're very old. Sometimes they need new capacitors. Sometimes you can't find what capacitors are the ones you need. Let's hear that track 4 we just recorded. Ooh, that's beautiful. Now that'll sound really good with some reverb on it, so maybe I'll dial a little bit of that reverb in for you. It's got a strong splice, but sometimes that's rhythmic, and it's kind of calming and nice. So we're gonna roll with it. That's some happy reverb there. And there's a little bird chirping in the tape loop. This is the kind of magic that happens when you're working with analog formats. There's a lot of digital VSTs you can get that simulate tape sound, the crunch and the delays and the echoes, but There's nothing quite like working with the real thing. And you know me, I like the real thing. This actually sounds quite a lot like Infinite Timescape, which is funny because I had to turn off Infinite Timescape in the background because it wasn't playing friendly. Sometimes your keys don't match, and that's the thing about keys, is they only unlock one door at a time. I really, really like this tape loop. I like it a lot. And you can let them just drone on, drone on. It is an infinite tape loop. It will go forever and ever and ever. Give me a like and subscribe if you've learned something here today, or if you just like the vibe. You can also drop any suggestions in the comments or in the chat for what you'd like to see on future shows. Yeah, we wrapped up episode 10 of Mono Synth Monday yesterday. That's dedicated to my TB-303 bassline acid house crazy synthesizer. And we're gonna come back next week with not a Mono Synth Monday, but a modular Monday. And at some point in time, I might just convert all of this over to my night capacitor show. I don't really know. But because this would be really cool to record some tape loops with a modular synthesizer. Just gonna drop it down a little bit there. A lot of times the cassette tape sounds better when it's slowed way, way down. And I have modified my Tascam here to run at Walkman speed. You might notice there's a couple of jumper cables in the back there. And if I unplug these, it'll go straight to Tascam speed, which is a lot faster. Let me demonstrate that for you. So I think you get a lot more quality when you're running the tape faster. Now that's running extremely fast, as you can hear. These are for my utopian city in the future sirens. You can't have a city soundscape without some kind of sirens every now and then, right? I love that little bird in there. It's very nice. I'll have to label that one. I usually like to label these with the Tape Tuesday episode that they happened on. I'll probably have to do that with this one as well. Let's have another listen to this because it took a long time to make, and I'm not sure if we enjoyed it proper. Well, let's hear it at a faster speed. We didn't hear it like that yet. Now you can call yourself a dodgy... It's not even dodgy, actually. The film score master. Gets a little bit freaky when you mess with the pitch wheel. It takes you right back to the 80s, I think. But it's getting freaky in here. You can also do a nice Doppler effect with the pitch control. Make it sound like whatever that art car was is gone into the distance, into the dust. Well, I think that's a pretty good success as far as tape loops are concerned, I think. Maybe we'll play you another song here. Let's see what I got for you. I hope you all have had a good show here. Let's see what kind of... Let's see. Ooh, this is one of my favorites. So, like I mentioned, every now and then, I grew up in my dad's recording studio, and he recorded a lot of music on ADAT tape, and that's a digital format, but it gets recorded to a VHS sized tape. And I remember they were pretty expensive, so you had to really have your performance on lockdown. It was just because you could only record over so many times before the tape got tired, I guess. But this one is Everybody Downtown by J.J. Huggins. You can find him on all streaming platforms. This is featuring Electric Archaic, and I was about 8 years old in this. It was a lot of fun. I remember recording with my dad on this song, and he just told me, just say downtown, downtown. This is Everybody Downtown. It's my favorite song. Hands down, Everybody Downtown is my favorite song. My dad can play guitar better than your dad. No, I'm joking. No competition. That's funny. Shout out to all the street people on the ground downtown.
Down.
y'all have had a good time with me here today. Yeah, it's Tape Tuesday. I'm gonna send you off with a little bit of this tape loop here. This is my first tape loop, and it's probably my favorite. Not sure what synthesizer I used to record that, but it sounds very lovely indeed. Got a lot of cool shows coming up. Catch me on Friday for Feedback Friday. We were going to do a workshop Wednesday tomorrow, but I've postponed it a week. Something came up. Like a bubble in the sea. No, that's my other joke. You don't need no one, you just need me, and we're going straight to the top like a bubble in the sea, baby. Shout out to the chat crew, thank you. I love you all, and I love this planet. And I know that you love this planet too. I've had a great time here today. You gotta fight through the non-nominal phenomena. Yeah, that was that track I played earlier from my album, Vega Starshine. Check out my music on streaming platforms. Check out the links in the description. I got a lot of goodies for ya. And if you stick around, I'll tell you about them. Yeah, I like to do a lot of harmless self-promotion. But today, let's try to conjure up a little bit of a vibe so I can send you off for the rest of your week here. Subscribe for the vibe. I'm going to be back on Friday. We're going to be doing, the craziest analog video effects. Much like what you've seen here today. This is a very simple analog video feedback loop right here. We're gonna pull out the CRT television. Yeah, I got a little baby one. It's so cute. And it does a great job. Just remember, my friends, you're the one.